Hey everyone, hope everyone had a great weekend. It's obviously Sunday now, and we're going to get into obviously see how Bitcoin's doing along with Ethereum. We're also going to take a look at the miners, see how they did for the week against Bitcoin, see which ones did better, which ones did worse. And also I've been thinking kind of about how Core Scientific and the restructuring could look like this weekend. So I got some ideas. This is kind of what I'm thinking might happen, but I could be wrong on this. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it also down in the comments. But as always, not financial advice. You guys know the drill here. I'm invested in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. All right, so let's take a look at the chart here. So this is Bitcoin chart right now on the monthly. We are in the green right now, just a little bit, but we are in the green on the month so far. We are up 6.36% currently, right around there. We still have obviously the rest of today to go to, and well, basically tomorrow. I think 7 o'clock now. So we went over into the new day here. So we got basically just 2 days left, one more day left in it. We'll see if we can stay above in the green on the month. So that would be a good sign there. Now, over here we have the weekly chart, and we have also a couple lines here. The red line is the 200 weekly moving average, and that is right now at about 24,000, 23,800, somewhere around there. It's right this here. We also have the yellow line, which is the 20-day moving average. The light blue line is the 50-day moving average, and the dark blue line is the 200-day moving average. We are getting close to the 20-day moving average going above the 50-day moving average, which is usually a pretty good sign. So we'll see how that plays out. So we're on the day chart right now. Bitcoin's at 20,666. It is now up basically 0.18% on the new day, which is obviously going into Monday, based on the time zone that we're in. So right now it is still looking, trying to see if there's any change in pattern here as far as if we're looking more bullish than bearish on the daily chart. And right now, if we look at the lines here, we can see here that we are kind of going down in price a little bit, just barely here from the peak here a little bit. So we might be going up a little bit more. And then if we look at the RSI, that's right now it's around 60. Last time we were right around here, which was back on September 12th. Price was higher, so we're still looking for that reversal to happen on the daily chart. But we'll have to see if we're going to go sideways for a while the RSI goes down and the price just goes sideways on us. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see here that the RSI has been coming down, which is a good sign. And the last time we were on the RSI at 55, here was back here on Thursday the 27th. Price was a little bit lower where it is right now, about $300 lower. So that's a good sign, at least for the time being. And same thing on the 1-hour chart. We can see here that the RSI has been falling down here. And the price has been kind of going basically flat on us, but the RSI has been coming down. So that is a good sign. So I think short term, we're a little bit bullish. Long term, it's still undecided. Looking at Ethereum right now, Ethereum is at, currently it is at 1,593. It is up just a little bit on the day, excuse me, to 0.16% up. And the 200-day moving, or the 200 weekly moving average on it is right now at about 1,315. So we have been above that for quite a while. Also, what I wanted to point out to you guys was on the Bitcoin chart. I forgot. So there's only been a couple of times that we've been below the 200 weekly moving average on Bitcoin here. We can obviously see we've been below it here this time around. Back in June, we did go above it in August. We've fallen below it again. Prior to that, it was back in 2020 in March. We fell below it for just a couple of weeks, basically. And then prior to that, we've been kind of bouncing off of it as kind of a support line. So we are, I think, long overdue for a little bit of a rebound and possibly getting up to that 20,000, 24,000 mark, possibly. But we'll see how that plays out. Okay, so that's just what's going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And let's take a look at my thoughts on Core Scientific as far as the restructuring is concerned. So I took some notes. I've been thinking about this and talking to my dad about it and talking to other people as well. And this is just kind of the thoughts that I have for this. So, Core Scientific. So, one of the main things is that by declaring that they're going to be in financial trouble and letting everybody know about it is forcing Celsius to either pay up or terminate the contract with Celsius. So, I think they're going to be going to the front of the judge on this. And now, as far as how the judge is going to react to this, is going to be kind of, I think, possibly in their favor. For one thing, the judge does not want to see, obviously Celsius is in bankruptcy. He doesn't want to see another bankruptcy happening because of Celsius. So I think this could be in their favor. So, excuse me. The outstanding debt owed by Celsius could be possibly paid in miners. So we know that they are obviously, Celsius not paying the full amount that is needed to obviously cover all the costs for it. I think it's 1.5 million roughly right now. It could be a little bit higher by this time than when we're recording this. But somewhere between 1.5 and 2 million roughly. We're just going to go with 1.5 million right now. So I think the judge is going to possibly say either you pay up to core, or you're going to be able, the core's going to be able to terminate the contract. But I'd love to know what you guys think of that. So any outstanding debt, I think, is going to be possibly settled with Celsius selling basically the miners, or giving the miners in the amount of 1.5 million, possibly to core. So 1.5 million would be at $17 per terahash, which is on the low end, would equate with 100 terahash miners. You're looking at 882 miners possibly for that. Those 882 miners could, in theory, generate about $188,000 in monthly gross revenue from those miners, which isn't a lot compared to what they are bringing in, over 20 some odd million, but it brings in a little bit. That equates to roughly 9 BTC more per month, which is obviously a drop in the bucket compared to what they are mining by themselves. Over 1.2 thousand a month in Bitcoin. So that's kind of number one thing that excuse me, that I'm thinking about. Number two is something that they have also stated, which is that they are not paying their bills for October and November. I can't remember now if it's for everybody or they're just not paying their bills for October and November for their vendors. But that is obviously what that's going to end up doing, is kicking the can down the road for them. But it does also allow them to build up a little bit cash reserves. And the thinking behind that is, if they can hold off for 1 to 2 months of not paying those bills, potentially Bitcoin could increase in value. Obviously, this is questionable. We don't know for sure if it's going to increase in value. It could go down in value. But if it does go up in value, just $1,000 increase or rise in BTC value equals about 1.25 million in additional revenue for them, just on the current amount that they're mining. This is not including any increases that they've had, obviously, since, for September, basically, because we don't know the numbers for September yet. But if BTC goes back up to 24,000, that's an additional $5 million in revenue, basically, for them. That would obviously help them out tremendously. Their margins aren't that great, so if their margins are 15% right now, or close to 20%, something like that, that's still, was about 1 million or so in revenue. That's still a substantial amount per month for them. The other thing is, in order for them to restructure, I think there has to be some massive cuts in spending. So obviously employees, research, sales, general administrative are the top priorities here, I would think. And we'll take a look at the numbers that I have for them and the reason why I think those should be cut the most here. So let's take a look at that. And then let me know what you guys think of all this. Am I missing anything else that could be a restructuring thing that they could do to help them basically survive this? I think the number one thing is obviously getting rid of Celsius possibly, and getting that debt paid for them. And the other things are obviously the spending cuts in here. The Bitcoin thing, we just don't know how that's going to play out. Obviously, the thing with vendors as well is they're going to have to talk to their vendors, unfortunately, and see if their vendors can give them better terms or something, or extend the time frame to pay this stuff off. If they can do that, then I think that's going to also be a beneficial thing for them. But here's what we got on core. So the numbers are down here that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And these are from Q2 numbers. So we are going to get probably Q3 numbers here in about a month or so, or within the next, I'm guessing maybe 2 to 3 weeks, but we'll see. But here's where I'm looking at for cuts. Obviously, they reported for research and development was 14 million. My question is, what are they researching and developing? This is a Bitcoin mining farm. The only thing that could be researching and developing would be possibly their own immersion cooling or a different type of ventilation systems or something like that. But even then, right now is survival mode. Cut everything that you don't need, cut it out. Excuse me. But that's basically 14.7 million per quarter, so that's almost $5 million in per month, basically. And that was a huge increase from Q2 over Q1. You had almost $11 million in extra research and development, which is just ridiculous. The number two thing is obviously sales and marketing. You're a Bitcoin miner, there shouldn't be any sales and marketing. The marketing that you do, you have it on your website, that's it. You don't need really salespeople out there looking for people to buy miners and get hosting for it, right? That's 10 million per quarter. That's 3.4 million per month. Basically, that's a lot of savings right there. Excuse me, general and administrative. So they were at 40 million in Q1, huge increase here in Q2. Not sure what all that entails, but that's a 50 million increase. That has to be cut as well. If they just cut that back down to the 40 million here in Q1, that would be a savings of 13 million per month, basically. So just by doing these couple things here, they could save approximately 21.7 million per month, just doing that alone. And that is obviously a lot of savings there. That could obviously help them tremendously in paying down, paying vendors, everything else, just kind of being able to survive in the time being. Now, obviously, we know that they have interest expense of 27.1 million per quarter. That equals to about 9 million per month. That obviously the savings from that, from the other top three things up here, can greatly help in paying that down, obviously, and help them survive longer, I think. They did say they have about 2 months worth of cash, I think, 20 some odd $1 million after selling all of their Bitcoin pretty much, except having like 20 some Bitcoins left. And I'm guessing that they sold all of the production for September as well. So it's going to be, I think, probably close to 2,000 Bitcoin, 2,000 plus Bitcoin that they've sold here in September. So this obviously would be one way of cutting down on things, I think. Let me know what you guys think on this as well. Now, looking at their margins here. So equipment sales also, I think they need to get out of that business. That obviously contributed to them with the hosting being down so much because they were offsetting the equipment sales for the hosting part of it. And even though hosting wasn't profitable, they were still making pretty good bank on the equipment sales. But now that that is gone, obviously equipment hosting has to improve dramatically in order for them to survive. But here's what we're looking at. So Q1, they were 16.73% equipment sale margins, 93% on self-mining margin. Cost of revenue, or not cost of revenue, the hosting margin was 6.3% calculated, and Q2 was 12.21% on equipment sales margin. Self-mining was 16.7%, so a huge drop there. And hosting margin was actually negative 10.8%. And I'm taking into account the hosting revenue for customers and hosting revenue from related parties, and then just cost of hosting services. That's how we're calculating it, dividing it by that. So that's how we're coming up with the numbers here. So hosting has to improve. Self-mining, obviously, they're still at least profitable on that. Obviously, the margins have been squeezed quite tremendously with Bitcoin coming down in price, and power costs have gone up as well. But as long as they can at least be above 15% on self-mining margin, that's in this market, that's not too bad. But obviously, hosting has to improve on that one. So I think if they can do all those things, I think they can possibly, kind of restructure out of this mess that they're in. But the biggest thing is cost cutting. They got to cut a lot of costs here that are just outrageous, are ballooned outrageously over the Q1 or from Q1 to Q2. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any other ideas on this. But based on where they are, they're obviously way down in price right now, about 17 cents per share. I obviously can't recommend anybody buying this stock right now other than if you're willing to gamble, a couple $100 away and possibly lose it. That's the only way. But otherwise, it's just a no touch right now, I think. But you got to do what you got to do, and you got to do the due diligence on this and everything else that you want to do. I'm personally thinking about just tossing in $500 into this, maybe up to $1,000. If it comes down below 15 cents or something like that, I may just toss it in there, see where it goes. If they are able to restructure this and get out of this, I think the stock's going to rebound. If they can't, obviously I'm going to lose the $500 to $1,000, and it'll be a tax write-off basically. Offset some of my gains here that I may take as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this. What are your thoughts of this as well? And that is all I have on Core. I wish them all the best, but they got to cut costs, unfortunately. That's the biggest thing that they got to do. Okay, so that is Core. Let's take a look at the weekly comparison for the miners, see how they did. And we'll get into it here. Where are they? Miners Weekly. There we go. So the miners actually had a pretty good week here, pretty good run compared to Bitcoin. Some miners were obviously down from where Bitcoin was, but others, a lot of them were actually up this week. So let's just go through it here. Bitcoin was actually up 7.42% on the week, which we go from Friday to Friday. And these are the miners that did better. So Hive was up 8.3%, Bitfarms was up 10.5%, Mawson was up 12.2%, Iris was up 14.9%, Marathon 18.33%, Ride was up 20.9%, Hut 8 was up 21%, DMG was up 21.8%, CleanSpark was up 25%, Argo was up 35%, and DigiHost was down up 41%. So DigiHost is the best for the week here. The following guys did worse. Sphere was only up 3.92%, Bit Digital was up 1.9%, Greenidge was down 3.81%, Soluna was way down 33.3%, and obviously Core was down basically almost 80% on the week. So not a good week for Core, obviously. That's how it all played out here. And let's go over here on the chart. You can see on the chart here how nice that all worked out for the other miners here. Now going into the 4-week time frame, let's take a look at that really quick as well. On the 4 weeks, we can see here that, let's see, where's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin is up 5.36%. So these miners did better. Sphere was up 6.1%, Riot 7.3%, CleanSpark up 21%, Marathon up 23%, Hut 8 up 24%. And then we got the following below it. So DMG was only up 4%, Bitfarms was up 2.9%, Mawson 2.2%, DigiHost 2.1%, and then Iris was down 6.4%, Bit Digital 9.32%, Hive 10.1%, Soluna down 31.4%, sorry, Argo 36.0%, Greenidge down 41.9%, and Core Scientific down 85%. Look at the 8 weeks really quick. On the 8 weeks, we can see Bitcoin is down 3.68%, Marathon is down 2.19%, Hut is up 0.43%. Surprisingly, Hut has been doing pretty well this time around compared to some of the other miners, except, let me see here, where was it? Hut. Yeah, I mean, it's been going pretty good here, surprisingly. So Bitcoin's down 3.68 on the 8 weeks. Then we got DigiHost down 8.6, DigiHost down, or not DigiHost, DMG down 13.4, Riot down 14.6, CleanSpark down 23.9, Iris down 24.7, Bitfarms down 25, Mawson down 31, Sphere down 31, Bit Digital down 32, Hive down 33, Argo down 53, Greenidge down 58, Soluna down 60, Core is down 91% from 8 weeks. And finally, on the 12 weeks, let's take a look at it here really quick. We got Bitcoin down 15.6%, and everybody here is below Bitcoin, has done worse. So Marathon is down 24%, Riot is down 29%, Hut is down 32%, DMG is down 37%, CleanSpark is down 39%, Iris is down 41%, Sphere is down 42%, Bit is 43%, Bitfarms is 47%, DigiHost is down 47%, Mawson is down 52%, Hive is down 52%, Argo 67%, Soluna down 74%, Green is down 75%, and Core Scientific down 94%. So we are seeing, obviously, maybe a slow reversal trend in the pricing on the miners here. We're starting to see a lot more green in here on the weekly 4 weeks time frame. We are also seeing it here on the chart where we're basically just keep track of it. So we had obviously a lot of green this past week, a little bit more the previous week, and then going 3 weeks back, we had pretty much only 2 up. Everybody else was down. 4 weeks ago, we had a little bit more of a mixed bag. We had more green than we had red. Same thing 5 weeks ago, a little bit more green. 6 weeks going back, it was pretty much all red. 7 weeks, we had only 2 that were green. Rest were red. 8 weeks, we had pretty much everyone in the green here. And it seems like every 4 weeks, we had a little bit of a rally here. You can see here, we were 12 weeks back, we were up pretty much green here. Green again 4 weeks later from that. 4 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, we were boom, and now again, kind of 3 weeks, we're going back up in the green. So it is what it is. We'll keep monitoring the miners, see how they're going. We also have obviously the end of September tomorrow. So not September, at the end of October tomorrow, which is obviously Halloween. And then we have the 1st of November on Tuesday. That's going to bring in more releases from the miners as far as the production updates for October. That'll be interesting to see. And we're also going to start getting the quarterly results from the miners as well. I think we're starting in basically 2 weeks from tomorrow, or that's going to start trickling in here, and we're going to go over it and see how they improved from Q2. I'm hoping they improved. I'm hoping that things didn't get worse, especially for if we look at it. Let's take a look at the miner comparison here really quick. The ones that we really want to see improve as far as current ratios, obviously Core Scientific, I don't know how they're going to improve, but we're looking to see how they're going to improve. Greenidge, same thing, is below 1. Who else is below 1? Lexfolio, Mawson, Soluna, and Stronghold. See how they improve. We're also looking for debt to current equity ratio. Right now, let's see here, who's kind of high. Obviously, Core Scientific is at 3, Greenidge is at 2, so those are high. We want to see those get improved. And we obviously want to see the current assets minus total liabilities improve on anyone that is in the red right now, which includes Argo, Bitfarms, CleanSpark, Core, Greenidge, Luxfolio, Marathon, Mawson, Soluna, and Stronghold. Obviously, those are the ones we want to see improvements on that part of it as well. So it's going to be a fun month coming up, a lot of stuff coming out. So if you guys do enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. Get the notification bell as well. That way you guys are made aware of when I provide new content. And as always, the spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members there, so you guys can get a hold of it over there. It's only $4, not too bad price. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Have a great Sunday night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.